Hi, I'm John Moran with Panther Expedite, and over the years my clients have been nice enough to share with me the biggest mistakes that they make when choosing a carrier. So now I want to share with you the 5 biggest mistakes that I've gleaned over the years that companies make when choosing a carrier. Number 1, and this comes up all the time when I'm talking to clients, price. Selecting a carrier solely on price is probably the biggest mistake that anybody has told me that they've ever made. And the old cliche is true, you get what you pay for, so make sure that when you're selecting your transportation carrier that you're not basing it solely on price. And in today's day and age with so many carriers to choose from, it has become not that tough to look at both service and price and match up the 2 best for the carriers that you're selecting from. Number 2, no formal selection process. We hear this a lot. Do you have an RFP that you're giving out once a year or an RFQ that you're giving out once a year? Do you have a formal selection process when choosing your carriers? So there's a lot of different ways to approach that. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me. I'm more than happy to share with you some of the different best practices that we've been able to take away from our clients. Number 3, spreading the wealth too thin. For example, do you have 10 different carriers inside of your subgroups, from parcel to LTL to truckload to air freight to international air and ocean? And are you basically taking 10 carriers and spreading the wealth of all your volume too thin so that you're not getting aggregate buy power and getting a better rate by pulling all your volume into a couple of select carriers? Number 4, they picked the wrong service. So for example, if you're looking to do truckload, are you using a predominantly LTL carrier? If you're looking to do international air, are you using a company that specializes in international ocean? In Los Angeles alone, there's over 3,300 registered freight forwarders. There's a lot of companies to select from. And most of the companies have a niche that they're very, very good at. So when you're picking a service provider, make sure that you're getting their strength to match up with the service you're looking for. And last but not least, they don't test drive the carrier. We hear this a lot. Most of our companies will go through, if they do have a formal process, they'll go through the RFP, they'll end up selecting a carrier, but the funny thing is they've never actually tested the service over the course of, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, or even a month. So one of the suggestions that we always make to folks is, listen, go through a formal RFP process when you're selecting your carrier. Set it up for either a yearly or a 2-year process, and then pick a primary, a secondary, and even a tertiary carrier for each service. Give the volume to the primary carrier, give 20% of your volume to the secondary carrier, keep that third carrier basically on the bench in case something goes wrong. And this way, when you select your carriers, if you test drive them in a particular service and it doesn't work out, you've got some backup plans. So that's it. Those are the 5 biggest mistakes people have when selecting a carrier. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to email at jmoran@pantherexpedite.com.